Project 2025, the tax side. Hey everyone, it's CPA Dan Hodges of MyFavoriteCPA.com. I'm a 30-year business veteran CPA, and I am founder of MyFavoriteCPA.com. If you haven't checked out my last video where we broke down the tax side of Project 2025, I will put the link in the description. You may want to watch that. And if you haven't watched it, in that first video, we talked about things like what is Project 2025, who developed it, who supports it, as well as what is basically the tax policy skeleton embedded in that, and who's involved in this proposal. I definitely emphasized in the last video, and I'm going to say it again, this is not a tax law, this is merely a proposal. It has apparently nothing to do with either of the presidential candidates. So let's just keep in mind, none of this is law, none of this is cast in stone, it's just talk, it's proposals. Let's talk first about democratic policies. One of the things that Project 2025 aims to fix are the democratic tax policies that were put in place, and which the authors believe is ruining the economy. That list includes things like tax policy and administration, fiscal responsibility, improved financial regulation, addressing the economic and financial aspects of the geopolitical threat posed by China and other hostile countries. Then we have reform of the new anti-money laundering and very controversial beneficial ownership reporting laws from last year. We have reversal of the racist equity agenda of the Biden administration and reversal of the economically destructive and ineffective climate-related financial risk agenda of the Biden administration. One of the big things here is the intermediate tax reform. This would include simplification of the tax system for all taxpayers, big and small. Now, we touched on this in one of my short form videos, but definitely there's a proposal for creating a flat tax of 15% for, those making less than $170,000 and those over $170,000 paying a flat tax of 30%. I think probably my entire life, in my entire career, I've heard politicians and talking heads talk about simplifying the tax codes, and it never happens. Usually when we have legislators who go in and legislate tax policy and tax law, they end up making things far more complicated. And in the experience of many practitioners, these legislators aren't at all knowledgeable about how these things work, and they end up creating more problems and more headaches for all Americans, and definitely for tax professionals. On that note, who could argue with tax simplification? That seems like it could be something every American could get behind. I, for one, have looked several times at the concept of maybe a national sales tax, which would definitely put everybody on a level playing field. And this, while it's not a national sales tax, it is proposed as a flat tax. And that has some interesting things that we could discuss. Another interesting proposal embedded here is a concept called universal bank accounts, or USAs for short. The concept is that every American could take advantage of a high-yield savings account, contributing up to $15,000 a year, kind of similar to a Roth IRA on steroids. As a business and tax professional, I can tell you that much of America does a very poor job with saving. And I personally feel that almost any American could agree that any policy that helps all Americans develop good financial habits could be a very good thing. How could it be a bad thing? Next, the author's take on the IRS is a very interesting one. They assert, and maybe some people agree, that the IRS is poorly managed and that it is definitely in need of a restructuring. The type of restructuring that they would endorse would be doubling the manpower, shuffling around the management, and beefing up information technology. Rounding it out, as we continue to graze the surface of Project 2025 and specifically the tax policy. We should really get a feel for their agenda to get rid of a big chunk of Democratic policies put in place over the last 4 years. When you read through the tax side of Project 2025 proposals, you can definitely see the verbiage points fingers to the Dems, saying they have run the economy into the ground. Folks, we're really just scratching the surface here. There are a ton of things we could dig into. So if you would like to see me talk more about it, drop a comment below. And on that note, if you would like to see a comparison of Project 2025 compared to Agenda 47 proposals, let me know. And for more content like this, follow me. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell, and you'll be notified of tax news you can use.